Hello everyone, my name is Kiat Deas. Today I'd like to discuss internal dialogue. In my experience, I've found that one of the first challenges we face on our quest for cognitive advancement towards the second cognition is achieving and maintaining a quietness of mind, or what Don Juan refers to as stopping the internal dialogue. What is internal dialogue? Internal dialogue is that constant voice in our head that's always analyzing and describing the way we perceive the world around us, always questioning and worrying how or what if, keeping us from being focused and aware in the current moment and obscuring us from fully experiencing the present without distraction. Everything we've ever experienced or been taught, all of our perceptions, beliefs, our convictions, anxieties, opinions, our prejudices, are all established from external input that perpetuates and maintains our perception of reality. The first cognition reality was created by these experiences, and the internal chatter keeps that reality going by continuously describing what we perceive through filters and habits left over from the high-beam mind virus. So then one might ask, why is stopping the internal dialogue so important? Well, in my experience, I found that defeating the ego chatterbox is the only way I can maintain the clarity needed to truly begin to detach from the first cog illusion and become aware of who I am and what I am here to do. It's because of this inner silence that I'm able to evaluate my path and make rational and responsible choices as to where it goes from this moment forward. Endo Beale states in clarifying the teachings of Don Juan, to advance to where one can permanently turn off the internal dialogue is to gain a major victory over our internal adversary, our own ego. In Tales of Power, Don Juan states, nothing of what we do, with the exception of stopping the internal dialogue, can by itself change anything in us or in our idea of the world. There is profound merit in those words, and once we understand what it is and why we need to shut it down, then comes the issue of actually doing it. In this age of instant gratification and expecting immediate results without putting in work, we have to remember this is a process like anything else. It can't be given to you, and it must be earned. Can you just make a decision to lose weight or get in shape just by wanting to look better or feel healthier? Of course not. And no one can do it for you. You have to exercise, you have to work at it to achieve results, right? This whole process is no different. So then we're faced with the question of how do we go about stopping this internal dialogue? This to me has been a major hurdle, especially being as there is little to no valid information out there that gives any step-by-step method for accomplishing this feat. In my opinion, it's likely because there is no one-size-fits-all. Each one of us requires a different process. We all have different things to distract us. I've used many different methods: breathing exercises, counting backwards from 100, fixing your eyes on an object and allow them to go out of focus. These things may or may not help you, but I feel they help me. If you're anything like me, you will get frustrated because you aren't getting any results. Guess what? You won't. Every time you realize that you are there, it's gone. You're thinking again. Just remember, it's a fucking exercise. The more you do it, the longer you can do it. And after thinking about it, I'm not sure if my reaching the state of even quietness had anything to do with any of these exercises, or if it came about as a result of simply detaching myself from the world around me and slowly expanding my awareness. Either way, the main thing is to continue to analyze and deconstruct those internal ego habits and beliefs. Endo once said, you have to eat, sleep, and breathe this shit. And that's the truth if you plan to get anywhere with this process. Believe me, if you keep up the work, you will reach a point where you will suddenly realize that you're there all of the time, quietly living in the present moment, not worrying or thinking about what ifs or the past or the future. You've reached what I like to call a state of tranquil observation. Remember, hold no expectations and keep in mind there is no finish line, only brief pauses for reflection to gauge how far you've traveled to get here. But here is only where you are now. This here is what you once thought of as there. The goalpost is always advancing forward. Thanks, and keep up the work.